stiff arms of crap out of Drake Kirkpatrick right there.
Going down again. That's Q. Red Williams.
Fighting through contact, fighting through the offensive line, being a double team, multiple moves stacked into one, just a play of pure domination. This is actual film, this is actual football talk. It's a football show, we're supposed to talk football, not storylines. And you are listening to another edition, the 7th edition of Blewett Blitz. Today we have 25 plays of Alabama right tackle Jedrick Wills, and then we're going to do CeeDee Lamb after that, and then Judy, and then we continue on. I took a 3-day break, how dare me, but like I said, we have a ton coming your way. Like I said, today is Wills. I think Saturday is Lamb, Monday, Judy, and then probably Wednesday we're going to have Ruggs, and then Friday we're going to have Chase on. That's going to be pretty much it for the draft content. After that last day, because like I said, there's only 2 weeks until the draft right now, so we got to push out content. That next Monday, not this upcoming Monday, the next Monday, I'm going to have, if you guys have been following me for a while or been on Jets Twitter for a while or whatever, I'm good friends with Kyle Smith, formerly of AFC East Bros. He's spot started here, done some shows with me. We're going to do a off-season mailbag and wrap-up type show where I'm going to ask him his opinions on the off-season, what he feels of it so far, what moves can still be done, and then also mailbag. I have a Jets X Factor email. I'm honestly forgetting what it is off the top of my head. But get your mailbags questions ready, whether it be about the offseason, the draft, any stupid question about favorite condiments. Like, I don't care. We want to have fun and answer literally any single question you have and have some fun discussions. So send your questions either to me on Twitter or email me at, I think it's actually, don't even email me because I'll get the Jets X Factor one, but tweet at me, message me, do whatever, and then I'll like them and then kind of make a list of all the questions that you have for Kyle. And you can even ask him what the hell he's doing, why he's not podcasting anymore, because he's definitely a really solid podcast host and a really knowledgeable Jets fan, so it should be fun to speak with him. But that's the next week. So you have you have 3, 4, 5, you have 6 shows coming to you in the next 2 weeks. So I'm going to overload you a little bit. But it's just kind of what needs to be done with the draft coming up. Just posted CeeDee Lamb on Twitter, which is at JoeRB31 if you're not following that. Posting Jerry Judy right now, and he's going to be done by tonight. And then I'm posting, like I said, Lamb and then Ruggs and then Chase on. So JoeRB31, follow me there. You get partial the reviews there. I put like anywhere from like a third up to half of the review on there. And then on the website, Jets X Factor, which is, like I said, $6 a month, $50 a year. So you're saving $10 there to get some of the best content out there, where I give you more plays. I go more in depth on some plays that are limited on Twitter, only giving 240 characters, and you're also getting a strengths and weakness list that I list out on the website that I do not do on Twitter. But other than that, where to follow everybody else. Michael Nania, follow Jets X Factor, follow Robbie Sabo. We're actually making an app. We're going to have an app, which is really cool. Not a lot of places have that, so you're going to be able to click onto the app and see all the stories instead of having to type into your Google search, whatever. There's going to be an app right there. It's really well designed. I just checked it out the other day, like the beta version or whatever you call it. So we'd appreciate that. I'll keep people kind of in contact when the app's coming out, when you can download it, because that would be, I think it's pretty cool for people who follow the site, who are subscribers, to have an app. Blewett Blitz on YouTube. Podcast Blewett Blitz. Like I said, even if you listen to just the podcast, or if you just watch the YouTube show, go on to the podcast app, drop a 5-star, at the minimum, drop a 5-star. 4 stars are okay, but I don't love 4 stars, to be completely honest. So 5-star, leave a review if you can, even if it's just a sentence. Like I said, it helps me get out to other people. More people subscribe, the more money the site gets, the more technological advances that we can make, the more we could do a lot of things. Let's just say that. I'm not going to get all into it, but we did get 2 5-stars this week. 1 5-star just rating, 1 5-star rating and review. The one review is from RV Theming. He said, amazing, just found you, and I'm only scratching the surface with your content, but man, I love it so far. Thanks for putting up such detailed info. I appreciate that. If you just started following me, like the Blitz, you know about me now because the Jets X Factor. If you didn't know me from TOJ or Jet Nation Radio, you can pretty much type in my name on Google, Blewett, Blewett, and then the player's name, and something's gonna come up. I did 60 plus shows for the TOJ film room, which still go follow TOJ. I'm still like a contributor there. And I did reviews on Mosley, on Bell, on everybody from the draft last year. So if you're still like, oh, you know, what did Blake Cashman show in college or whatever, and you're bored, I have a show on Blake Cashman. I have shows on Greg Dortch, like all these players. So if you want to, you can always go back and look at those at TOJ Film Room. Like I said, 60 plus shows, a lot of them being with Marcus, breaking down games with Marcus, breaking down Sam Darnold film with Marcus. I did breakdowns of Sam Darnold's film with Mark Schofield, bunch of different things. So go check that out as well. Like I said, the draft is coming super, super freaking soon. 2 weeks, 2 weeks in about 6 hours. Really interested to see how they do it in terms of, is it going to be over Skype or freaking like Facebook Live or Zoom, or like how is that going to work? I'm hoping that there's no glitchy, laggy type problems. I would like to see it really clean. I'm hoping the NFL, being a multi-billion-dollar company, they can figure that out. But unfortunately, Wi-Fi and things like that just suck sometimes. So I'm hoping they have some type of really well designed plan, even if there is some type of failure on the first or second level where they have backup plans. So it's gonna be really, really fun to watch. Getting into Wills, he is my number one player that I've watched. Like I said, I don't remember where I have all the other guys. If you've been listening, then you know. Well, actually, I can tell you right now. In terms of the guys I've done so far with the offensive linemen, I have Wills 1, Wirfs 3 overall on my board. Like I said, I have 8 guys. It's not a huge board. Thomas 5, Becton 6. Now, I feel that Becton's a little bit better of a fit for the Jets system, but Thomas is also the safer pick, so I'm really teeter-tottering on those guys. They're pretty much even for me. Let's say in the world that they're both sitting there at 11. Either way, I'm 50-50. Like I said, I feel safer with Thomas, but Becton has a higher ceiling, and he's a better fit for what the Jets would do. But they're 5 and 6 on my board, and then we'll talk about the other guys when they get revealed. But Wills is my favorite player that I watched so far, and you're going to tell by the list of strengths and weaknesses I give right now before I get into the actual film. I've had 25 plays. There's a huge list of strengths, and I don't have a ton of weaknesses on the guy, to be completely honest. I'm able to show up a little bit more, in the NFL that I can listen down as weaknesses. But like I said, for me to do a strengths and weakness list, I'll see something a couple times. Like I'll see it 2-3 snaps. I'm like, okay, I'll write that down. If I see it in more than 2-3 snaps, then it becomes a strength or a weakness. So 6'4", 312, 34 and a half inch arms, 34.5 vert, 5.05 40, and 113 foot broad jump. Not foot, geez, 113 foot broad jump. He's a kangaroo, inch broad jump. So really athletic. I watched LSU, Auburn, Michigan, South Carolina. Like I've said with these reviews, it's so much easier to evaluate guys when you have the end zone view, especially of offensive linemen. Unfortunately, I don't have connections in college, so it's all broadcast angles. So I try to do as best as I can. The reviews of guys like Connor McGovern who have that NFL Game Pass, I can watch that and put it up. It is, there's 60 plus plays because you could find so many different plays. You could see their feet, you could see how they're leaning, you could see a lot more different things. And especially center would be really, really hard in terms of broadcast angle. Tackles are a little bit easier, but still it is difficult. So strengths, foot speed, aggression, overall athlete, overall strength, strong punch, anchor, movement to second level, change of direction skills, strong grip, bully, loose hips, lateral stop start, patient and pass pro, doesn't panic in bad positions, changes up pass pro punches, people mover, works well to cover gaps, stays square overall, punch timing, will trap, rip the ground, works to reset hands, punch accuracy, alternates punches, balanced in pass sets, awareness, plays with good leverage, rolls power through hips, many different and effective footwork techniques, frames rushers well, doesn't overcommit on combos, plays long mostly, hip fluidity, doesn't cross feet, limited weaknesses, and his weaknesses that I have down is can catch him with base too wide, see some oversets, Have seen heel clicks and pass protection. Rare, but have seen him overcommit to combos. Like I said, rare. That's why it's listed as a strength and a weakness, but it's which I guess it kind of shouldn't be technically, but who cares? Sometimes pop blocks on second level. Can lead into blocks, but again, it doesn't show up often. Hasn't played left tackle, which people say, "Oh, we'll just change them." It's not that easy. Like I said, I always bring up Madden. It's not easy to have a guy at tackle. He's an 85 overall in Madden, and then you change him to left tackle, he's an 84. Like it doesn't work that easy. You're working a completely different skill set of your feet. Like if you're doing laps in basketball all the time off of, let's say, your left foot when you're exploding, now try to do a layup off your right foot with your left hand instead of your right hand. Like it's not as easy. Throw a ball with your left hand. That might be a little bit more difficult than footwork, but still you get the point. It's not just easy to change from right to left with anything, with writing, with throwing a ball, with footwork, with layups, with really anything. Try to even, if you're a sprinter, instead of exploding off your right, explode off your left. It's different. So it's not that easy. And for a guy who has never really played left tackle, I don't think in high school or in college, I don't think it's going to be an easy transition. I think you could try it. If it doesn't work, keep him at right tackle. Right tackle and left tackle are really similar, obviously, being both tackle positions. Left tackle has a slight bit more importance just because it's the blind side, but right tackle is still facing the better rushers. So there's positives and negatives of having a better left tackle versus right tackle. Right tackle, they're going to run to the right side more typically. I don't know if that's still true, but based on books and things I've read, it's more typically the right side, the strong side that you're going to run to. So, okay, he has to be a better run blocker on the left side. He has to block better guys, but he's not blocking the blind side. So, like, I don't find it like, oh my God, he can only play right tackle, don't draft him. You have an elite right tackle, that's fine. Is Lane Johnson good? Do people talk about him like he's a good player? Because he's a right tackle, So don't get too wrapped up in the left tackle, right tackle talk. I don't really care about it too much. And then if you draft Wills, which if he falls to even like below like 6 or 7, I'm fine with trading up to get him. I think he's that good. Which obviously, yeah, you want those draft picks, but I really, really like Wills. Oh yeah. So what I was saying is you get him at right tackle, and then you have 2 guys in Shell and Fant who could compete for that left tackle spot. Ideally, you have a Trent Williams, you have a Jason Peters. The Jets don't have a ton of cap room right now. They have, like, after all the deals, I think they're going to have like around $10 million in cap space, because it came out the other day that they had like $18 million, but it's not factoring in Jordan Jenkins, who's like a $5 million deal, and 4 other guys. And that's not even considering, the $7 to $8 million you need for your draft class. And that's not considering the usually $2, $3, $4, $5 million for in-season costs that teams like to have on the side just in case of an injury, whatever it may be. I know it's not factored in. I don't think Tremaine Johnson's factored into $18 million, but that's only like $6 million. So that's $24 million, not factoring in Winters, if they even do cut him, which is like $7 million. So, okay, you have like $30 million, but then you take out that like 12, let's just say $12 million for the draft class and in-season cost. Now you have $18 million to work with. So, that's if they even do cut Winters, So they got to make some moves. Or if they cut Williamson, we'll see if they cut Williamson. I don't think they should, to be completely honest. But story for a different day. So getting into his Will's film. So you're going to see me gushing a little bit over this. I'm kind of out of the offensive line game right now. Obviously not too much, but I haven't done them in a couple of days, which makes it feel like I'm out of the game. I've been more onto receivers now and corners and things like that. So let's see his tape here. All right. He's always gonna be the right tackle. You don't really have to question that. It's not like when I was doing worse and any changes. Good movement skills right here. He's just dropping that right foot back a little bit. He's leaning a little bit into the block, but he has to cut this guy off and create movement. So I'm okay with it. It's not like he's super off balance when he's doing it. Again, gets his hands, it seems like, inside. With this angle, it's definitely harder to see. Regardless, he is able to extend, roll his power up through his hips right there. Remember I was saying it looks like they're humping something when they do that? And people talk about rolling the power. So he rolls the power up through the ground, up through his hips, into his arms, shocks the guy backwards, stands him up, and then is able to, just continue to drive upfield and inside of him to obviously drive that guy vertically. So he creates some vertical displacement here, and I'll show it off of the off of the snap, so you can see some of the agility he has. For, he's not an overly huge tackle, but he still has really, really good movement skills, and he's really strong for a guy of his size, but he gets overshadowed a little bit because you have Wirfs, who might be the most athletic tackle we've seen in years and years and years and years, if not the most athletic tackle in terms of testing numbers and things like that. And then you have Becton, who, relative to his size, is an absolute freak of nature with his testing and his strength and things like that. And he moves like a guy who's 6'7", 370 pounds really shouldn't. So I think that overshadows how good and how athletic Wills is to a certain extent. So let's not act like this guy's a bad athlete, because he's still a freak too. So stump pickup here. I just move this a little bit so I can lean on my nightstand. All right. So, nice, even balanced kick slide right here. Not too big of steps. I would say that step, if I was criticizing anything, might be a little bit too big, but nice arch in the back, nice balance, sunken into his stance. He's not playing too high. He notices, he starts his kick slide and he's looking inside first. Again, with these type of sets, we have two guys standing up. They're tighter alignments to each other. There's some type of most likely game stunt twist coming. Wills he knows where this outside backer is, the edges, the stand up DN. Again, don't get too crazy with that stuff, because he could be a stand up edge, he could be a linebacker. I'm just going to call him an edge because he's on the edge. But he starts off his slide with the vertical set, and he has his eyes inside to see what that what the stand up 3 tech is doing, stand up 4-eye. His eyes are inside, and he sees the stunt coming right here. Eyes flash outside. He knows that guy is going to loop inside. Right hand onto the chest with a good base, hops back a little bit, left hand inside, right hand inside, and maintains a good base, slides with him, some nice lateral mobility. Again, doesn't panic, pretty aware of the stunt. And as soon as that guy starts to loop inside, hand out, right on the chest. Good base. Again, he's not leaning too far into it. He gets his hands on. Good base, good base, good base, working off the insteps, and completely shuts that rusher down. Nice and tight, hands inside, grab it onto him, and he's done. Like that's a really good stump pickup by Wills right there. 3, power step. All right. Power step, shoot in steps. Yeah, so he like jump sets him here. I wouldn't even really call it a jump set. I call it like more of like an up kick. So it's literally the opposite of a kick slide when you're up kicking, when you're stepping forward with that post foot, and the back foot follows, and the back foot doesn't necessarily have to follow it for me to consider it an up kick. Up kick right here kind of just roots his feet down, because he has he has the flexibility to do this, because this guy is obviously quite large. He doesn't think he's going to beat him to the outside. So it's like a quasi jump set. I call it, like I said, an up kick. As soon as he starts to generate some power towards Wills hops back a little bit. Again, nice base, shoots his right arm, looks like it lands into the chest, maintains that good base. Nice wide base. It's not too wide, but as he gets his hands inside, the guy transitioned into a bull rush and just tries to rush straight through him. Wills drops his hips a little bit right here as he hops back, working off of the instep, hands inside, and completely shuts it down. So I like the change above technique where he will 45 degrees set you. He will vertical set you. He will jump set you. He will root down. He will use up kicks. There's a bunch of things that he does, and it makes him harder to scout against as a defensive end, and what he's going to do. Because if a guy is always going to 45 degree set and overset, okay, you're going to rush hard up the arc and spin him inside. Transition from speed to power because he's going to open his chest. Things like that of that nature. But when they keep using different techniques, there's not something that they can just hang their hat on what's going to beat Wills. So again, I like the hand placement. I like the patient shot. Obviously an accurate shot right into the chest. Good base, hops back, works the insteps, and solid anchor to hold up that rusher. Stunt pickup. All right. I would say this set, it's like a 45-degree set. It's a little bit more vertical than a typical 45-degree set. I would say he's hedging on it almost being a overset, but creates a lot of depth, creates that space. Again, looks like it's almost splitting the two rushers because, again, same thing we saw before. This is the same alignment, or very, very close alignment we just saw before with another stunt that they were running. I think that was a TE stunt as well. So another TE stunt. He's obviously noticing this rusher start to gear down, which is, showing that he's going to try to burst inside or loop inside. He sees that, eyes flash inside, left hand comes out. That left hand isn't, and that left hand that he's throwing right there, it's kind of like a safe punch. Like, okay, if he's there, it's going to be into his chest. That hand's not gonna hit him. You see how he's gonna pull that back. So call it a fake punch if you want. I don't think it's really a fake punch. I think it just throws it out just in case he is there. If he's a little bit, more deep into the rush than he thinks, he's not gonna reach for it. Boom, alternates the punch. Right, pops the guy. So good job not reaching for the block. Good job throwing that right hand with some power. You can see it really affects that rusher. Good accuracy, good power into it. Frames the rusher well. Gets his left hand most likely into the rib cage right here. Somehow it gets knocked down, and then you're gonna see Wills reset it. Stay with the guy again. Nice wide base, not too wide, but wide enough. Working off the insteps. Stays with the guy. Doesn't get top heavy right here. Like there's some guys you'll see them when this happens, they'll start to lean and chase the guy. But he maintains a really, really, really good pace right here. And just completely shuts it down again. His technique overall is really, really pretty. He's a really, really, really good player. And if the Jets got him, man, like I like Wirfs. I like the other guys to a certain extent, but none of them are like Wills to me. I don't really think there's an argument between a lot of like guys who I don't want to even say that, guys who know what they're talking about, to be honest, who think that who I've seen who don't have Wills one. Okay, so he's the right tackle again, obviously. And they're running a one back power right here. It gets blown up, but this guy's gonna vacate, and he has to cut this guy off on the backside. He wants to get in front of that 3. I'll call him a 3 tech, maybe even more of a 2 tech. So he's pretty far inside of Wills. Wills takes that. I wouldn't really necessarily call it a bucket step. He just takes that drop step to open up his hips. Again, because if he was to just step laterally, it's going to be harder for him to work his hips past that foot. When you open up and you drop it a little bit, it's easier for your hips to work over that toe and through it. So he's opening up his hips right there with that little drop step, drops it, cuts him off, drops his shoulder into the inside shoulder because he's trying to cut him off. He doesn't take on the outside shoulder and push him inside. He cuts him off. So good job with that cutoff. Looks like he rips through, runs his feet. Yeah, thunderstorm. Hopefully it doesn't. My power doesn't go out, even though this is a Wi-Fi. So hopefully my Wi-Fi doesn't go out because I'll suck for the show. So cuts him off, turns up field, and he knows at this point that if the run went well, he can't have his eyes on everything. That the running back would be at a much higher angle. He'd be farther into his track. So he disengages with 97 and picks up the next guy upfield because that's the most immediate threat to the running back. So if the running back was here, 97 is not going to catch him straight down the line of scrimmage. Number 6 here would scrape over top and try to pick him up. So really, really good job of just staying with that block and then having the smarts. Okay, well, number 6 is now more the immediate threat to the running back, or the more immediate threat to the running back than 97 is, based on where the running back should be. So then he picks him up again. Containment punch with that left arm to not let him come upfield. The right hand, I think it lands inside to the chest or underneath. And he's in a slide. Again, he doesn't chase. Good base. Shuffles laterally upfield. And see how he just stays with them? Look at that. Like here, I'll play this in full speed so you can appreciate it a little bit more. Again, I think when I play it in slow motion too much, people don't appreciate how quickly it happens. But overall, that block and ability to just stay with the block, rework his hands, maintain a good base. Like, damn, that's another really good play. So, hold on. Let me pause it for a second. All right, next play. Right tackle. So they're running the counter OF counter OF as I refer to it, where you're going to have the backside guard pulling, with whether it be the fullback, an H back, a tight end. So I refer to as the counter OF. We're going to have like I said, that pulling guard kick out the edge, and then the fullback, H back, tight end, whatever, leading for the running back. It doesn't work out super well. Good job by the end here. I don't know who that is. Oh, is that Chason actually? Chason's 18 I think, right? I think that's Chason. So good job by him blowing us up a little bit, attacking that inside shoulder. But worse, he uses a gallop technique where that lead foot right there is going to step in the direction of the guy who's going to block, and then the right foot hops up and generates the power into the block. So gallop technique to cover ground to generate power. Gets his hand, looks like into the shoulder pad. Like I said, the lower it is, the better it is. But anything on the side right there is okay. Again, I think his hand could be a little bit lower, but he gets his hands on, drives through his feet. The defensive lineman tries to turn around to find the block, but you're gonna have Wills, who stays with them, resets that right hand into his chest, and then he just takes him completely out of the play. So I like the gallop technique to generate that power. Hand placement from the right hand could be a little bit better, but he sinks. It's hard to get your hand on down to there. But I like to see the rib cage, or like I said, the lower the better. But he's still able to keep his hands engaged, drive him out of the play right there. So good job. Let's see what the result of this is. Okay, yeah. So get almost a first down, 9-yard gain. So good job by Wills on that combo. Ooh. Okay, close that out. 7. Create movement. Okay, so he's right here. Widens out with that first step. Almost gonna act like a brace, kind of. And they're running a lead zone. He's working on the combo block with the tight end to the backer. Good job not committing his whole body right here, especially with this guard going to be committing to the one tech. The B gap's going to be a little bit open if he commits too much to that block. So I like that he's just taking him with the inside shoulder right there, but he leaves his inside half free. So you can see as he goes into that block, as he gets that hand on to the 5 tech with the tight end, his eyes automatically flash inside. So he creates movement. You see that movement right there with the tight end, pops that guy back like pretty damn far. Now the guy hops back into it, but still they create a lot of vertical displacement right there. Eyes stay inside as that linebacker tries to shoot through the B gap. Wills picks him up. Left hand inside, covers the play side with his hips, working with a good base, and shuts him down and turns him out of the play, and he falls down because he trips. But really good at it's just like these little things that are really technically clean with him. Instead of, like I said, committing too far to it, this linebacker shoots the backside B gap, blows up the run play or greatly alters it, and then it's not, most likely not a touchdown. But good job by him. Like I said, just the awareness of pre-snap, committing only half of his body to that block and then picking him up. And it ends up being oh, okay, I didn't realize I had the secondary view. So nice wide base driving into that guy. Inside half free, left hand inside, covers the play side. He's not getting past Wills right here. He's just not. And then the running back is going to run right behind Wills' block. And gets blown up a little bit by this left guard right here. He's leaning too much into that. He's off balance, and the guy shoots behind him. So, all right, play 8. I'm honestly excited to be. I love doing a Wills review. I'm excited to get into the receivers. I've been doing a lot of offensive line stuff with McGovern, looking at Fant. Now these 4 guys in a row. I'm excited to get into the receivers too. I definitely am. Like I said, we have Lamb, who's an interesting prospect for sure. I have some concerns as well with him. We'll talk about that. Judy I like him a lot as well. And then we're going to have Ruggs, who I only had like 14 plays on, so that'd be a super short, big 45 minutes. But I'm excited to get into those guys, do a mailbag, let the draft happen, see what happens, Okay, so you have, again, covers good ground with that first step of that kick slide, the drive catch. The steps are nearing. I like to have the back view to see how big these actually are. They're nearing getting a little bit too big right here. I would like to see more of him like splitting his body, like his crotch with that middle foot. It's coming a little bit too close. It's the only criticism I like. See, like right there, like a little bit too close. So I like to see a little bit smaller steps right here. Again, it's a small criticism because he is maintaining a good base, pretty good balance. He is slamming his feet a little bit here. So this is not the cleanest pass that he's ever had, but gets outside of that vertical set. Again, based on the alignment, something's coming here. He also pre-snap has to be aware of this DB who has inside leverage and is not looking at all. Like when you're not looking at all, when you're trying not to look, it's an indicator. Okay, he's probably going to come on that cat blitz, and you're going to see how he gains depth and he automatically looks to the outside. He's looking to the outside right there, and they're almost running like a coffee house here, where it's like a fake stunt. So he's going to penetrate inside, try to carry Wills inside, pick him inside, whatever you want to call it. Wills does not overcommit to it. Maybe he does a little bit. I like to see the guard more aware right there, as well, to be honest. Him gain more depth quicker, allow it easier for Wills to pass it off. But Wills lands his left hand inside, passes it off to the guard, drops it. So he really doesn't overcommit. This is like a smart play too, because he knows the quarterback's drop point too. So they're almost working back to it now. And obviously the quarterback can step up. So good job throwing the left hand, keeping his eyes outside, being aware of that cat blitz. Once he gets even with Wills going to drop that. So he comes inside, drops the post with his hands inside, redrops the post outside, right hand inside, stays with him vertically and pushes him up the arc. So I'll show it in full speed. You can appreciate some of the athleticism here. Again, super aware of that corner where his eyes flash out immediately. So like good job with the pre-snap recognition right there. That's a good job noticing a blitz. Doesn't overcommit. I think I was wrong the first time I said he did overcommit. Watching it again. Drops, good athleticism, good feet, good balance, good hands. Like there's a lot of good on that play. And pass to Ruggs for a decent gain. Okay, mover. Let's see. Okay, so another counter OF. Like to run this. You're gonna have that pulling guard kick out the edge, the fullback, tight end, H back leading for the running back. You're gonna have Wills working on the he just works on a straight down block right here. Okay, interesting. Yeah, because you have let me see that again. That's interesting how the guard is down blocking to the one tech who the center could down block. Interesting. That's a little like wrinkle there, but regardless, he down blocks to the almost looks like a two eye tech, not even a 3 tech right there. Good base. He's not leaning too hard into it. Looks like he gets his left hand inside, extends, rolls his hips, rolls the power through his hips. You see right there. Almost looks like he's humping. Extension, and keeps working through the block. He doesn't get that extension, and he's not allowing a lot of dead time for this guy to reset, the D tackle to reset. He leans right back into it, left hand into the lower pec area, into the ribs, and works his hips to cover that gap. It ends up being an RPO, and the is that Judy? I'm not sure if the corner tips. It doesn't look like he tips it. It looks like it's a drop from Judy, which he does. He is guilty of some drops. He's like, and he's not exactly like Cooper, but in terms of really, really clean route runner with some drop issues, he has some of that in him. So you'd like to see him clean that up a little bit. He needs to catch this, but regardless, it's an RPO with that counter part of the run being the the run portion of the RPO, and he does a good job creating vertical displacement. Again, he starts at the 5-yard line and drives him back to the 3. So if the running back, if he was to hand that off, that's a wide open touchdown for the running back, because look how far he moves the guy where the running back cuts because of that down block. So good job by Wills right there. Overcommits, okay. Like I said, this doesn't happen too often. They're playing Auburn. Another counter OF. They run this play a lot, which is good because it's a pro style type run. They will run this on with the Jets. Again, if a team is zone, they don't just only run zone. If a team is power or gap blocking, they don't just run powers and counters, or pin and pulls. They run some zone as well. So he's going to see this some with the Jets and works on the down block. Another what looks like a gallop. It looks like the left foot is going to open up his hips, and he's going to work that right foot as the foot that's going to gain a lot of power. Look, he turns his hips a little bit too much here. I could tell by where his helmet is. He turns his hips too much, and he stays on that block for just a second long. So I would like to see him, gallop, but a cross shove type deal. Okay, you're turning the turret, not the tank, as I say. The bottom is the tank, the turret is the top. You turn the turret, a little bit, but you don't commit your hips to him. Cross shove him, keep him inside, and then pick up your block. He's turning that tank a little bit too much right here. Turning his hips into it, stays with it for too long, and then that Mike backer is able to scrape over top and get in on the run play. Now they get a first down still, but I would say he commits too long for it because he doesn't even get really hands on that guy until the point where it doesn't even matter anymore. So overcommitment right there. Again, you're not going to see a lot of negative plays from me on Wills. Helps cover. All right. So now they're running a counter OF to the opposite side. So because this guard is vacating that gap, this gap right here, I don't know. I honestly couldn't tell you what number Derek Brown is. I think that might be Brown. I could be completely wrong. Like I said, I don't know what I did not evaluate interior defensive line for the Jets this year because I severely doubt they go that way. Having Shepard and Fadokasi and Quentin Williams and Steve McClendon and Henry Anderson. Didn't watch, but I think he's 5 if I was to guess. I think I maybe seen him, but he's going to shuffle inside right there to cover that gap, that vacated gap. So he doesn't want to just work up the field vertically right here and cover, because if this center is not able to get his hands on him, he's going to shoot right through that vacated gap and completely blow up this play. So good job by Wills shuffling inside, but only dedicating half of that body and still having his hips outside. So he gets his arms in there just to slow him down. He's not overcommitting his hips, but he's still just able to shuffle, assist that center with blocking back to the 2 tech, 3 tech, 2i, whatever he is right there. I don't have the end zone view, so I'm not gonna go crazy with that. But good job shuffling inside, not committing too much, getting his hands inside, keeping his eyes on the edge rusher, and then dropping and picking up the edge rusher again. Good hand placement, completely stands him up, and he's out of the play. So really, really good job right there by Wills, helping cover that vacated gap to assist the center right there. Slap to ground. Okay. I think he feels this guy off balance a little bit. Yeah, that's they're running a screen to the running back, and he can take this more like 45-degree set, and be a little bit more aggressive with his hands because the ball is going to get out of the quarterbacks relatively fast. So cover some ground, frames well. He opens up maybe a quarter of a second too soon right here, to be honest, because if this guy defeat that hand and spun back inside, he could probably beat him inside, maybe get to the running back. Again, it's just tiny criticism that he opens up a little too soon for me. But he slaps the guy to the ground. He feels the guy start to lean into the block or into the contact window, and he's not really unbalanced, and Wills just throws out that left paw and just slaps him to the ground. So this is a pretty good demonstration of power right here, just slapping a full-grown college player right to the ground. So I like that play. A little bit of aggression taken out right there. Movement, again, versus Auburn. Yeah, I'll play that in full speed and we'll break it down a little bit more, but watch the right tackle right there. He's good. All right. So they're almost looks like they're running like a duo right here, where the center is going to work to the backside linebacker, and everybody's going to block down. Again, there's like a little bit of subtle differences between like a belly zone, tight zone, duo. Duo was basically it looks like power without a pulling guard. That's the best way to describe that. And you're going to look at the center working back to the center, and usually like the guard opposite of the play, or no, not the opposite of the play. It depends on alignment, but you're going to see the center usually with the combo block working back to the backside backer instead of the Mike. Usually with zones, you have them working to the Mike backer. So that's a little bit of a giveaway, but you have to watch a couple different other things to see that. But call this duo, and Wills comes off the ball low, hand onto it looks like it initially lands onto the ribs and slides up into the armpit, but he generates a ton of power right here, rolls the power through his hips, good extension, throws that guy to the ground, maintains balance, good just overall athleticism right here. And he almost like he's falling forward a little bit, but he's still able to alter his angle right there, hug this guy a little bit, pop him, and create some displacement on him. Now, in a perfect world, you'd like to see him stay a little bit more balanced here and then shuffle up to this guy and block him and keep him inside. But he trips a little bit because I don't know if he expects him to himself to truck this guy over. So yeah, this is definitely I would call this duo. So again, it's a little bit harder when you have this view, but I'm calling this duo. Good job by Wills right there, showing some good movement skills. Three plays in a row. All right. So we're going to do these relatively quickly. I don't want to spend too much time. I noticed that some people didn't watch the Wirfs one. Maybe it's because people don't think we're going to get him, so they don't care about him, so they don't watch. Wills might be the same thing, so I don't want to kill people with too long of a show. But I do have 3 plays in a row. Okay, yeah. So Again, he's aware of this corner when a guy's like tight like that. You want to be aware, especially when they're really tight to the line of scrimmage like that, really pressing the line of scrimmage. You want to be aware of them. Gets into his kick slide. That guy's gonna knife inside. He does not reach for the block. He goes to punch him. Fake punch, whatever. Does not overcommit his hips. He's gonna maintain his discipline to the outside right there. So goes to punch, not there. Little bit of a power step. I would call that a power step right there, where he's not going to flip it. He's not going to drop his post, but he's going to step off that post foot. So power step, lands his left hand inside. Eyes automatically flash outside because he's going to be aware of that corner. Good thing by him not just overcommitting to this and not being aware of that corner. So he notices that pre-snap. I can bank on it. Left hand inside, doesn't overcommit, pushes that guy up the arc. Now, maybe he might have been able to get to the quarterback if the quarterback had to hold the ball. But still, I'd still give a plus for that play. Oh, sorry, the next play. So this play is going to go for how many ever yards? 6 yards, 7 yards. 2nd and 1, 3rd and 1. He's going to be blocking down to the 3 tech, low, hand into the ribs. Is that Brown? I think that's Brown. I'm going to have to look that up now because it's going to bother me. But hands low, good job by Brown hopping back and really generating a lot of power off that instep right there. Look, see what it's saying? It's like really hard to work against an instep if it's set properly, and his leg is going to have to like snap almost for that to get pushed. He does push him. And I like how once he creates that initial vertical displacement, he's not just going to keep driving his body into him. You see how he resets that right hand? He tries to reset that right hand. He's working hard to get Brown out of there. Yeah, it looks like Brown. All right, so next play. Again, just driving this guy. They're all blocking down again. Closing another duo. And gets low, drop step with that left foot, drop step, brace foot. Right hand comes into the shoulder pad. You can see he grabs that shoulder pad, which is fine in this situation. He's not going to get called for the hold. And he's going to torque him. So the guy kind of gets under his pads a little bit, and he's driving a lot of power up to that base right there. You see that base? I'm talking about him. A lot of power through the base to stand him up because he comes off the ball low and explodes right into Wills. They stand each other up, and at this point they're kind of even. So the only thing he's really going to be able to do is torque him, inside. So hand inside, torques him, takes him to the ground. They're both off balance, but he uses that off balance kind of to torque and driving hard and into the ground and drops on top of him. Touchdown by the running back. Movement and power. Yeah, you like to see this play. Okay, so another counter OF. One scrapes down and makes it hard for the blocks right there. But regardless, I'm not watching all of that. Covers some ground with a gallop. Doesn't overcommit his hips. Turns him a little bit, but it's okay because he does have some room right here. So a little bit too much turn of the hips, but he gets his hands in, creates movement. Kind of just big Rams number 3 right here, the linebacker. His hands end up slipping up and knocking off Will's helmet. Wills does not give a crap and stays with the block. This should have been blown dead right there. But Will still stays with the block. He doesn't care. He's going to finish the play until the whistle's blown. So I like that. I like that play from Wills. Push up arc. Oh, yeah, this is good. Good ground covered. Good balance in the kick set. It's a relatively big step right there, but he's about even and he's opening his hips up. So when you're taking that big step to open, when you know you have to open, that's more okay than doing that big step before you know you have to open. So if this big step was when this guy wasn't as far up the arc, then I would criticize it. But when you're opening your hips up, you're taking that big step, not a big deal. Lands the right hand inside, it looks like. Left hand comes underneath into the armpit. Number one is going to try to drop his weight and bend that arc with power. Wills is going to, his hand slips onto the back, and then you're going to see it slide into the hip. It slides into the hip, and a good job by Wills while pushing low on the guy. He's not off balance right here. You say he's not top heavy into this. He's working from that base. Now his body is leaning a little bit into it, but he's not off balance where he would fall over if the guy spun back inside. So good job by him getting hands on, pushing the guy up the arc, sliding that hand into the hip, again, attacking your center of gravity. If he's pushing your center of gravity like that, this guy's not going to be able to bend that arc as tightly as he needs it. So good job not overcommitting, but still getting low enough to push his hands into there and push that guy up the arc right there. All right, play 17 out of 25. Share it. Okay, so this is where you see a little bit of the overset that I talked about, that at times he could be a little bit guilty of. And I would say his base is a little bit too wide right there too. That's a little bit too wide. You're not going to be able to really cut off of that in any good way, like in terms of like not cut. I mean like lateral movement. So he's going to get into his kick slide. He doesn't cover much ground with that first step. I think it's because this guy's a little bit tighter. But he shoot that left hand shot opens up his hips just a little bit too early. I would like to see him create more depth right here, stay more square, and shoot that outside hand. That left hand shot's gonna open your hips in that situation, and it does. And you can see now his right foot is splitting. Is not splitting the rusher. It's parallel to the sideline, so his hips are going to be literally completely open to the sideline, and now it leaves this area right here. So he opens up his hips a little bit too soon. For me, if you are going to shoot that left hand, I would take another small step or two, kind of run your feet, and then punch that left hand as he's passing you. You're not going to shoot that left hand and open up your hips, because now it gives him the inside. The defender is able to defeat the hands, spin, and get the hit on the quarterback. Just hits the quarterback's leg, I guess. So a little bit of an overset there from Wills. Again, you don't see it a ton, so I wouldn't get too worried about it. But I'm not just going to put up only good plays of Wills. So again, another situation where they're running a counter OF. The guard kicking out the edge or attempting to kick out the edge, which he really doesn't too well. You're going to have Wills working down in a combo. Looks like another gallop. Again, hard to see from this angle, but it looks like it's a gallop. Doesn't overcommit. Right hand looks like on the ribcage, hips, pushes that interior defensive lineman, which I think is frickin' Brown, which I'm going to look it up now because I said it a billion times. I want to just be right. Let's see. Picture Derek Brown. Number 5. Yeah, okay. That's what I thought. I've seen him blow up a couple plays. I was like, I think that's Derek Brown. But again, I'm not scouting interior defensive linemen. Not for the Jets right now. So Gallup attacks the hip. You can see he literally pops him and lifts him off of his feet right here. Throws him inside. Eyes flash to second level. Drops his shoulder and pops him outside. So my only issue with this play is, okay, so this is good. I like the attacking of the hips. I like that he pops this linebacker. I don't want to see him look back right here for where the running back is. I would like to see him, just know that at this point in the run, the running back should be pretty much on your ass or close to your ass right here. Shuffle up field and block. So I don't like how he's looking back for the running back right here, because the guy is able to get on that tackle. So I would like to see him work his hips up field right here instead of looking back. So if I had to give some criticism, that's the criticism. That's the only criticism I can really give for that play. Maybe committed his hips a little bit too much, but I don't think so. Right tackle. Yeah, okay, there's nothing crazy about this one. He's more just running his feet, rooting his feet down. 45-degree set. Guy is pretty tight to him, so he's not going to create too much ground. Shoots both hands, tight quarters. Like I said, when you're in tight quarters like this, when you have a tight end on your ass helping you if anything happens, completely fine with this. So shoots two hands. He feels that the lineman starts to lean into a little bit and not really look at him. He's going to grab him, pull his hips back as he's pulling down. So he hops his hips back just a little bit to allow that space, and you're creating that force basically. So he hops back and rips him down to the ground. Feels the lean, rips him down to the ground. Now the rush is over. Good job. Wills versus spin. I think he does a good job resetting his left hand here and inside, if I remember correctly. Yep, okay. Again, completely shuts it down. Guy's rushing from wide. So he has to open his hips up early here because the guy it's a defensive back. It's somebody with a lot of speed. But see the difference between him opening up his hips and Thomas opening up his hips? When Thomas opens up his hips to chase a guy down the arc, he really turns his full body, turning his legs into it, and it's really top heavy leaning for the guy. When Wills has to open here, he has to move far, but he still has a good base right here. He's not top heavy. He shows that good lateral agility, gets his hands on the guy. The guy goes to spin. He's still balanced. He's not too far outside. Like I said, if he was top heavy here, maybe he gets pushed a little bit farther down the field or up the field or whatever you want to call it, and then he's able to spin him. But because he has a good base and he's balanced, he doesn't get affected that much by that spin move. And then you could see him reset that hand into the chest. Boom, chest opens, hands right there. He's done. There's no way you're going to beat Wills from this position when he's lower than you, hands tight. There's absolutely nothing you can do. There's no way. Shuts that rush down. That's a nice play by Wills. 5 plays left. Trusted on backside. All right. What? Okay, yeah, so like a mid-outside zone. And for Wills right here to reach, because this guy's going to go automatically. I'm guessing he's going automatically to second level. Yeah, he's going right to that backer. And that the left guard or the right guard. Yeah, the right guard gets a shot into the defensive lineman, but the fact that they trust him to cover that much ground is nice. I would say. So you're gonna see the bucket step from Wills again, like splitting his stance, opening up his hips, allowing him to work horizontally before he gets vertical. So he works down the line of scrimmage. That the little hand check right there, that shot from the right guard does a good job in getting the defensive lineman off balance. Wills covers with his hips, wraps the left arm around, and just takes him to the ground where he's already going. Just kind of like olays him. He gets his hands on just in case. He feels that lean, and he's just going to rotate his hips around and throw him to the ground. And this is really good. Like look at the hip mobility here, where he's going to take that step with the right there, flip his hips all the way around on his right to his left. So he does a 180-degree spin in one step right there. One step. So again, nice fluid hips, good movement, good athlete, good power, good technique for the most part. Good job. Trip and recovery. All right, so he gets caught in the chest right here, and he falls down. You're gonna see the right tackle right here, and looks like he just kind of roots his feet down, or he jump sets this guy. I'm not sure if he trips over somebody's foot right here. I don't want to just assume stuff when I can't see their feet, because a lot of people who are like just the sentence people on Twitter, like, oh my God, look at Wills wreck somebody, or oh, look at Becton power. Like I said, it's stupid. And then it gets 1,000 retweets. And a lot of people, you'll see them get bull rush and fall over, and it's like, oh, look at the power. Did you see him trying to reset his left foot, but his left foot got caught on the shin of his left guard or his right guard or the center? Like, so it's not really a great bull rush. Like, yeah, he tripped. That's great. Like, a lot of people can push somebody over when they're going to trip. not a normal person can't push Wills over when he's tripping, but a guy in college football who's 240 pounds probably could. So he gets caught in the chest right here regardless, falls down. I like that his athleticism right here. So he falls down, he gets up pretty quickly, stays with the block, lands the right hand inside, and then works from a good base. So this is like those plays like that are, what's a good wording for it, that aren't typical, but a really good response to it in like an atypical situation type deal. So this is kind of just he's just a player and he just makes this play. So he trips, gets up quickly for a 310 plus pound guy. Right hand inside, left hand gets underneath, extends him, and works from a really good and low base right there, working off the insteps. Now he's close to the quarterback, but whatever, that's a good recovery. I'll play it again. You can see how quickly he gets up here for a big guy. Nice play, nice play. Like I said, that's pretty atypical. You don't practice that. We don't practice. I never saw offensive linemen practicing tripping and getting up and still getting your hands inside and working from a good base. Like that's a good play. Again, just displacement. Another counter OF. He works down to the 2I, loose one. Doesn't overcommit. Hands look like they're probably low. A lot of movement. You see the movement. He's finding the gaps for everybody else. Peels off. Right hand or his hands inside of the linebacker, and it's going to drive him outside and to the ground. Now, it looks like their feet might get tangled up right here, so it's not going to get called. But again, good movement, good power, good athleticism to get his hands on the second level right there. Continue to drive through the play. Good job. So he's blocking on the backside right here. I don't love the block. He opens up that right foot and the left foot, but you see that there's a little bit of like disconnection between the upper body and lower body. The upper body's leaning a little bit this way while the hips are open that way. So there's a little bit of disconnection. It's not too brutal, but he's leaning for the block. He's not really on balance right here into that block. There's not really a great base to work from, and the guy is able to just club him over. So I don't know if this is the initial plan of the rusher, but he feels that lean from Wills and is able to get his right hand inside, club him. Wills is off balance. Now the defensive lineman doesn't make the tackle, but still, if you're going to open that foot like that, take the step upfield, upfield and towards the guy, and then shuffle to stay to cover that gap. But you don't want to just open up like this and lean into it, because now you give him that ability to work and scrape over top of your hips. So I want to see him on this play use different footwork and just scrape upfield a little bit or shuffle upfield a little bit, and allow him to rush too far up the arc, and then he's out of the play anyway. So I'd like to see better overall footwork from him there and a little bit better technique. Last play, Will's aggression. Gets into the vertical set, goes to shoot the left hand gets swiped down, right hand comes over top to contain, like the half moon punch, like Jim McNally calls it. Containment punch, left hand goes to reset again into what looks like the ribs. Guy is leaning. Wills hops back and rips him into the ground. Wills has his hands on him. He tries to get up and he throws him to the ground again. That's like the aggression that I mentioned. I see it now, but good job resetting the hands. Good job staying balanced in his base, working his hands, working off of the insteps, not leaning, pretty smooth feet. Rips the guy to the ground. The guy tries to get up. Wills is having none of it. Throws him to the ground. That's it. Again, relatively short, but I want to run through these guys. Saturday is Lamb. Monday is Judy. Wednesday is Ruggs. Friday is Chason, or Saturday is Chason. Friday or Saturday of next week, and then Monday is the mailbag. So like I said, tweet me, JoeRB31. Send your mailbags. Obviously the first question I get is the first question we answer. So I like them, write them down in my notes in my computer, and then myself and Kyle Smith will answer them after we get to the off-season wrap-up of his thoughts. So we'll give you like a nice like hour and a half, 2 hour show most likely. Have some fun discussions. So tweet me there. Again, podcast app. Drop a 5-star review if you can. Subscribe. Tell people who like football about it, about the Jets, or even if they're interested in draft prospects. I have the reviews. This isn't just for the Jets. So I'd appreciate that. I will see you guys in 2 days, but I'll see you on Twitter because I'll be posting Jerry Judy in about 2 minutes. So have a good one.